Greetings, crafty friends. Welcome to an episode of Angela Shows You. Tonight we are going to work on making a small little clutch type bag just with a simple elastic button closure. So what I have gone and done is I cut this to be 10 inches. So this is 10 inches wide by 9 inches tall, and then I cut a 1.5 inch out of each corner, and I got my two exterior pieces and 2 interior pieces coordinating. They're all already sewn right sides together, as we do right sides together. This one is kind of just a light gray with like just little marbly type pattern in it, and then the exterior is a gray with purple flowers and a coordinating little handle. So what we want to do for this is sew all around your edges right sides together, and then I'm going to take my little strap piece here and I want to put it in the bag where, wherever you decide is going to be a good spot for you. And I'm actually going to angle this just a little bit, and then we're going to sew that into place. Okay, and I went back and forth real quick on that so that I kind of, gave it an extra like lock into place. All right, so then the next steps that we're going to want to do, we want to box our corners. That way the bag has a little bit of depth to it. So what I'm doing is, so it was like this, you're going to come in this way and you're going to pinch them together this way. Line up your edges. What I like to do is take the seams, fold one way and the other way. And we're going to sew those. The beautiful thing about making bags and pouches for yourself is you can make them whatever size you think you're going to need. All right, same thing for the other corner. All right, so now we've got the exterior of our bag. We're going to leave the exterior right sides together, but now that's okay. So now we're going to take the interior. The interior is still right sides together. We're going to put our hand inside, open up our corner, get your edges, line your seams up, one side, one to the left, one to the right. Don't forget to backstitch as you're doing these so that you reinforce your starting and ending stitches so they don't come apart. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our lining piece, our inside piece, and we're going to turn it right sides out. Push out your corners a little bit. All right, now before we do any further steps, what we want to do, I cut a piece of elastic. All right, I cut this to be, this is a 4-inch piece of elastic. All right, so you want to make it a loop. And then you want to find the center of your bag. So like I mentioned, this is 10 inches. So around the 5-inch mark, I'm going to put it, the raw edge of the elastic onto the raw edge of the bag. I'm going to just I'm going to clip it, and then I just want to make sure that I've got it centered. I want to check once more. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to take my bag, and here I've got that at the 5-inch, at the 5-inch mark right here. All right, so now the next step is going to be, we have to sew that into place. Now I am going to sew it kind of close to the edge, but not, you know, like not too close. And if I don't know if you can really notice, but I do have the elastic, it's sticking off. I'll show you. So that was fun. So what I did was I let a little bit of the elastic go off of the material, okay? And then we went forward and backward a few times so that we could really, you know, give that some, because we'll be pulling on this to secure the bag open and close. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take our interior of the bag that we already turned right side out, and we are going to place it inside of the exterior so that our right sides are together. Actually, I think I'm actually going to do that in reverse. I think I normally do this in reverse. I don't know if it matters, but let's turn the right sides out, and we're going to put the exterior inside the interior. Right sides together, of course. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we're going to line up. We want to line up our seams. And I want to do the same thing. I'm going to take one and I'm going to point it one way, and I'm going to take the other and point it the other way. And we're going to clip those together. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do on the other side. We're going to line up our seams. And we're going to clip that into place. All right, and then we want to just take another clip or two, and we want to clip, we just want to clip our edges together. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do is we're going to, all right, so we're going to sew around the top of this, and we're going to leave about 2-inch gap because we need a way to turn this right side out. So we're going to go back to the machine and we're going to start and we're going to sew all the way around. Now when I get to that elastic again, which I'm at the elastic, I do want to just go back over it once more. Okay, now we're getting back to our where we started from. So we just want to be mindful that we leave a turn gap. There we go. All right, now we're going to turn the whole thing right sides out. And then, there we go. Push out all those corners. Okay. All right, now, next step is going to be to push the lining back in. It's cute. I'm going to be traveling, so I'm actually planning on, I'm going to take some jewelry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my jewelry in this. Although I haven't 100% decided. This might be a little bit big for jewelry. I might instead put my hair clips in it or something. I'll have to see. Now, if you want, this would be a good time to go ahead and give this a press, or you can wait until you're done. But we're going to take, so we got our turn gap here. So what we want to do is we want to fold those over. All right, there we go. Just going to give it a little bit of a clip. However, I'm going to start right there. I do want to work this down just a little bit so I can make sure that my lining piece and my exterior piece are lined up nicely. Okay, and then we got one more stitch around to do. So we're going to start there at our opening gap. And we are going to sew our stitch close. You want to make sure, if you've chosen to make a loop, you want to make sure that it's, you know, not pointed up this way, because you don't want to catch it. when you get there. And then we also want to make sure that our piece of elastic is out of the way. And I like to hold it just to make sure that it doesn't get caught up. Want to make sure nothing goes rogue. Okay, so now what we want to do, of course, we want to trim those, all of our threads that we've got going on. So I used kind of a dark purple thread. You could totally do something that blends in more. I could have used a gray that wouldn't show at all. So now what we want to do is we're going to sew in a button. So you're just going to want to pick a button of your choice. I've got this whole jar of buttons that I've somehow managed to collect over the years. So I think I'm going to just choose, I like this one. That one's kind of pretty. So then all you're going to do, and we don't need to, not going to walk through this, but what you're going to want to do at this point is figure out, so you take your button, you'll fold your elastic over. I probably actually could have gone a little bit longer, but you just, figure out on here where your button's going to need to go. So that, that's why the elastic is nice, because you can put it, your button down a hair, and then you'll have your elastic closure. And then all I'm going to do, my next step to finish this is just going to be to grab a needle and thread and just, so now this button is one of these guys. I really like these because then you can't see the threads. So all I'll do is I'll take this on here and I'm just gonna go, I really try to only do through the outer layer when I do these bags. That way you don't even see the thread at all. But it doesn't, it doesn't matter. You can do it right through both, both pieces, whatever, here's your preference. But you're just going to take the button, line up where it needs to go. We can even, if it makes your life easier, like what you could do is take a pen, fold it over, choose a spot that's gonna, work. I think, so actually this is like right at the tip right here of this flower. Make yourself a little mark. I put a little blue mark right there, and so that's where the button's gonna go. So then I'll grab a needle and thread, I'll put the button right there, and I'll just do the button through. I'll do the button, and I do have a video on how to sew a button. So if you haven't done a button before, check out. I can leave a link to that video on how to sew a button. But pretty much the same concept. Just instead of sewing it onto a pair of pants, you're going to be sewing it onto your little pouch. But then you've got a nice, little some sort of a little carry case with a grab notch or whatever you want to call this thing, and you can put whatever in here. Like I said, I'm traveling, so I might put ponytail holders in there and clips and barrettes. I Now that I think about it, I was thinking jewelry, but I think for jewelry I would probably want it to zip so that nothing fell out. So I'll probably put maybe, my camera charger and my phone charger and my hair stuff in here or whatever. And but these are nice. I made this just out of cotton fabric, so it can be thrown into the machine and washed. And that's that. So wasn't that easy? So I hope that you will take advantage of it, making yourself a cute little travel pouch, and let me know what you think if you make one. And if you have any tips and tricks or something that might have made this a little bit easier, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section and let us know. But I do hope that you'll find this useful and give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to Angela Shows You, I hope that you'll consider subscribing for future content. Thanks. Have a great night.